This is the story of a sage born to lead people into the path of the God, a teacher who taught disciples the great way of Dharma, a kind hearted who saw God in everything, a person who is still remembered even after 1,000 years. This is the story of Once upon a time in Sri Perumbudur, a couple named Keshavacharya and Kantimati had a child. They named him as Lakshmanacharya, also known as Ramanuja. In his childhood, Ramanuja learned Vedas from his father. Time has passed, thus Ramanuja grown into a young man learning Shastras. At the age of 17, he got married to a woman named Tanjamamba. Several days after Ramanuja's marriage, Keshavacharya passed away due to illness. After his father's death, Ramanuja moved his family to Kanchipuram. There he met a guru called Yadava Prakasha. Yadava Prakasha was so impressed of Ramanuja's learning abilities, but Ramanuja was not happy about Yadava Prakasha's teachings. He thought Yadava Prakasha's teachings were illogical and misguiding, so he decided to give his own way of explanations for them. This made Yadava Prakasha go angry about Ramanuja. Yadava Prakasha's other disciples also made up some stories about Ramanuja. This made him more angry. One day, when they were traveling to Varanasi, Yadava Prakasha planned to kill Ramanuja on their way. When Ramanuja heard about Yadava Prakasha's plan, he managed to escape from that group and started walking back to Kanchipuram alone in the forest. After some time, he got lost in the forest, confused and thinking about how would he reach Kanchipuram. A Kirata couple showed up and said that they know the way to Kanchi and asked Ramanuja to come with them. Ramanuja felt so happy and started walking with them. They travelled through Vindhyaranya to reach Kanchipuram. By the sunset, they stopped at the place and Ramanuja went to bring some water. After Ramanuja was returned, he didn't find the Kiratas there. He searched for them in the forest. Instead, he found the Kanchi temple. He was surprised and thought the Kiratas was no other than the Mahavishnu himself. Once a man named Mahapurna visited Ramanuja and wanted him to come to Srirangam. So he travelled to Srirangam to visit a sage called Yamunacharya. By the time they reached Srirangam, Yamunacharya was departed, leaving the reason blank behind Ramanuja's visit. But Ramanuja saw Yamunacharya's 3 fingers were closed. Ramanuja thought for a minute and understood the purpose of his visit to Srirangam. Then he made 3 oaths that he will write Bhashyas for Brahma Sutras, will give a true explanations to the world about Divya Prabandha, and he will honor the Vyasa and Parashara. As Ramanuja made his oaths, Yamunacharya's 3 fingers were opened, leaving everyone in the wonder. Several years after this moment, Ramanuja's mother was also departed. Ramanuja always wanted to learn Dharma and Shastrarthas, so he started his travel to Srirangam to visit Mahapurna. In his way, he reached Madhurantakam. At the same time, Ramanuja saw Mahapurna there, who was heading towards Kanchi to see Ramanuja. Ramanuja felt so happy and requested Mahapurna to give him Panchasamskaras. Mahapurna accepted his request and gave him Panchasamskaras. After that, on Ramanuja's request, Mahapurna reached Ramanuja's house and stayed there for several days. Ramanuja's wife Tandamamba was not happy about a third person living in their house. Mahapurna listened her when she was complaining about him to Ramanuja, and he left the house without telling Ramanuja. Ramanuja tried to convince his wife, but she didn't. So Ramanuja sent his wife to her mother's house and took sannyasashramam at the Sri Varadaraja Swami temple, leaving all his relationships behind. After taking sannyasam, Ramanuja stayed in Kanchi and started teachings about Visishtadvaita Siddhanta to everyone. This got Yadav Prakasha's attention. He felt bad about his behavior at Ramanuja. He reached Ramanuja and surrendered himself. Ramanuja accepted him as a disciple. He gave him sannyasashramam and named as Govindajiyar. Later one day, Ramanuja met a rishi called Gosthipurna and learned Narayana mantra from him. Ramanuja thought that the Narayana mantra should not stay only with him. If he can teach the Narayana mantra to the world, so it could help people in darkness seeking light of God. He climbed the temple tower and started chanting Narayana mantra so loud. People from around gathered there and started chanting with him. Goshtipurna was so angry with this act. He said to Ramanuja that he will be punished after life because revealing the Narayana mantra to everyone. But Ramanuja replied, maybe I will go to Naraka, but people who were chanting the mantra will go to Swarga because of me. That makes me happy at the end. Goshtipurna felt so happy looking at Ramanuja. To his eyes, Ramanuja was not just another person. He is an incarnation of Adisesha himself. Later in his journey, Ramanuja travelled all Bharatakhanda and brought enlightenment in everyone about Visishtadvaita Siddhanta. As he promised before, he named his disciples after Vyasa and Parashara and written some granthas along with them. Vedanta Sangraha and Gadyatrayas were so famous in Ramanuja's writings. Ramanuja visited Tirupati several times. He enshrined Sri Govindarajaswamy idol in Tirupati. In his glorious streak, Ramanuja taught dharma without any inequality like the king, poor, the elder, younger, the man, woman, or the distinguished. He said, there is no inequality between humans. After fulfilling his duty for dharma, he ended his incarnation on Pingranama Samvatsara Magha Dasami. And because of his teachings, Ramanuja was still remembered even after 1,000 years. This is the story of Sri Ramanuja.